Welcome back to the Infinite Gold Podcast. Today we have a amazing guest speaker, and his name is Cameron Guyed. He is a military veteran, Air Force, 2 deployments. He left the military in about 2011 and has just been in and out of different businesses for the past almost 2 decades. And from there, he's learned a lot about how businesses start up and how they scale. And one of the biggest problems he was realizing is a lot of people didn't have money, they didn't have funding, they didn't have investors. So he started a couple of years ago with his business partner, Go Credit Pros. Check them out. But what they do is they help you establish 0% interest credit so that way you can start up your business and or scale. So again, Cameron, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so what we like to do is at the very beginning of every show is we like to give you 2 to 3 minutes, tell us about yourself, tell us about your history, why you do what you do, and then we can get right into the show.
Perfect. Well, as you kind of mentioned of why I do what I do, having gone through different businesses in real estate, fix and flip, rentals to an ATM business, some stuff in financial planning, a few over the years, I learned that one of the biggest reason why small businesses fail in that first, 3 to 5 years or even less is due to a lack of funding, a lack of working capital. So going through my journey of trial and error, and some were successful, some broke even. It was, really looking for what I could be passionate in. It was helping other business owners. And during 2020, when I was, 4 or 5 years into, my own financial planning business, helping clients face to face, all of that shut down and had to close our office and couldn't meet with people. My credit, my own personal credit took a hit because if I'm not making money, I can't, pay things. And, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So shortly after that, I was looking for ways to fix my credit and kind of delve into the credit repair space. And that really opened up my eyes and I learned a lot about business credit. So it's all kind of connected, personal credit, business credit, one feeds off the other. So, diving into that and really, establishing and figuring out ways that I could get access to 0% interest business credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
a business was formed, bringing us to where we are now, a few years later, and helping hundreds of businesses across the nation get access to tens of thousands, sometimes over 6 figures, multiple 6 figures in funding, utilizing 0% interest business credit. And it's been great for us and it's been great for all of our clients as well.
That's awesome.
Wow. So, excuse me, for the people that are new to the entrepreneurial space and that are wanting to start a business, and this is your area of expertise is completely foreign to them. Can you dumb it down for us, for our listeners that maybe want to know some of the important details that you think they need to know about your 0% interest with your business?
Absolutely. So, in all reality, most businesses that are under 2 years old and pre-cash flow, pre-revenue, some of the only funds available to them are business credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of types of funding out there, and we can help with all of it. SBA loans and term loans and business lines of credit and all these types of funding for businesses. But most of those do require tax returns, bank statements, minimum 2 years in age, for the best products. And to get to that stage is always the tough part, right? Having the money to start, whether it's a brick and mortar business or it's an online business, e-commerce, high ticket sales, whatever the type of business that you're in, coaching, consulting, you're going to need some money to start. You're going to need money for equipment. You're going to need money for marketing. If it's a brick and mortar, there's build outs that need to happen. If it's a new fix and flip business, you need money for the rehab. We work with real estate developers. They need money for materials.
Yeah.
There's always money that's needed when starting a business.
100%.
And what we've found is over 90% of these businesses can actually utilize a credit card. It's 2025. Like most people can take a credit card, right? This is America, land of credit.
Yep.
So
True.
why not? For those businesses that, you need cash for the small, number of businesses that need cash for something, these cards can also be liquidated.
Yes.
And all that means is basically a way to get cash off of the cards without doing a cash advance, the high interest cash advance from the bank. So there's ways you can liquidate the cards to cash if needed, but in most cases, you can utilize the cards for what you need. And the idea is within that first 12 months, because most of the 0% is for 12 months, you have a plan that how you're going to use the money to make more money. We always recommend having a way to minimum 2x, if not 3x the capital. And from what I found and all the business owners we've talked to over the years, marketing seems to be the one that it lands on. The more people that see your stuff, that know you exist, the more opportunities you have to work with those people.
Nice. Now, do you have ways that you guys have learned that to recommend giving them guidance to have a plan of a plan that they can use in that first year while they're under your care, if you will?
Yeah, we do that. We don't sell that as a service as far as like a coaching and consulting service. But having worked with so many businesses, we've learned what's worked for other people and what's made them successful and what's worked for us. And so having experience in several different arenas, we can offer, some sort of guidance or more so ideas that they can take or leave or run with. Also, we have affiliated companies that we work with that do marketing, that do coaching, that do consulting, that we happily refer them to. But I don't want to take responsibility of someone's business
Right.
making it or breaking it.
Okay.
Exactly. I'll get you the funding, and it is your responsibility to grow your business.
Hey, I recommend this person because they could give you X, Y, and Z that's going to help you set up a plan
Right.
of how you're going to use this.
I'll point you in the right direction, but usually when people are looking or at the money stage, they usually know what they want to do and
That's
how
good.
they're going to use the money.
Mhm.
And in the off cases that we do find someone that is just looking for money to just float themselves for a little bit, I recommend not getting this funding, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to rack up all these cards, and then that interest is going to kick in a year, and you're going to be in a worse position. So our goal is not to put people in worse positions, but give them the access to make their dream business take off.
Love it.
That's perfect. Now, obviously, beyond the obvious benefit of not paying interest, what are some of the lesser known significant advantages of having these credit cards available to them?
One of my favorite is the point programs. Most of the time, businesses are looking for around 50,000 to 100, sometimes 150. And it's not that they have, something that's going to cost specifically 50,000. But for example, we spend over 6 figures a year on paid ads, right? So that's a lot of points. I think just last year between everything, we got close to 800,000, 1,000,000 points between our business cards. We haven't.
That's some free travel right there.
Yeah, there's travel, there's cash back rewards, there's all types of stuff. So inside of our community that we host on school, we even included a mini course on travel hacking with points.
Yeah.
So how you
That is
can utilize
awesome.
those points to get your best travel, best flights and hotels and
Yeah.
all that.
That's awesome. Before we go to the next question.
Pause it, Mabe. Just pause it.
Oh, yeah.
We have that feature.
All right. Now, many business owners, and myself included, prior to learning about this with you, is 0% interest. It's too good to be true. How can this happen, and why would credit card companies even fathom doing something like this?
Well, it's a lead for them, right? And it's been around forever. People have been playing the 0% transfer game on personal credit for a long time. Personal credit cards, they'll offer 0% sometimes for 12 to 24 months, or, and depending on the economy, sometimes even longer. So they'll get those 0% cards, they'll transfer all their balances to that. They'll ride that out and then pay it down, and then, get another one when that one ends, and just kind of keep rolling the 0%. but they just don't know they could do that for business too. So the same types of cards are offered for businesses, and they have a 0% intro rate. So it's beneficial to the banks because the 0% will get you in, and they're expecting you to not pay off the cards in that 12 months. So now that $20,000, $30,000, whatever it is, now you're being charged interest. Right. But the strategy is to come in with a plan to, again, know how you're going to use it and how you're going to 2-3x that money. And a lot of our businesses that we work with do that. There are some that, call us a year later and want to get some more and kind of roll it. And that does happen. But a lot of them that play their cards right, they have a plan. They know what their business is. They know what they're going to use the money for, how much that's going to make them. And I ask them that. I had a guy I spoke to yesterday who's got a, diesel type shop, and he's got a really good deal on this new product that's only to them. And I ask him, well, how fast can you turn that product? What's the profit margin? Oh, 4 or 5x. Okay. So if you had 50,000 and that's what he's looking for, how fast can you turn that? 6-7 months. Okay, great. And you're going to minimum 3 to 4x that. So you're going to turn that 50 into 250 this year. And I always say, all right, well, make sure you pay off that initial 50, right? With, that you got to get everything rolling, and then just reinvest it into more and marketing and all the other stuff that you're going to do with it. So I try to tell them, and hopefully most people do it realistically. We have some good businesses we work with, but if they don't, that's, now you're just going to pay interest. The cards are still good, and I recommend still using them year after year. But as long as you did the right thing, now you should have the cash flow to pay them off every month, still not paying interest. But there should always be a credit card in between every transaction. 1, for the points. 2, it builds your business credit. And 3, it offers a layer of protection that a wire transfer doesn't give you. And cash doesn't give you either. The credit card companies are huge and massive, and they offer protection and fraud protection and all this other stuff. And not having your debit card information out there, but having your credit card. I don't even carry debit cards with me. I carry credit cards. If they get stolen, I can cancel them. If someone uses the money, the banks, those credit companies, they launch an investigation. They give you the money back. You can do disputes. There's so much protection that you just don't get from cash.
It's so true. I mean, in my profession right now, we deal a lot with, card skimmers and a lot with everything that has to do with people getting the RFID off of your cards and utilizing them. And I tell every single person exactly what you just said. Do not, I repeat, do not use your debit card literally for anything. If you have to go get cash out, go inside the bank and get your cash out from there. Do not use any ATMs. Do not use any gas pumps. Do not use any of those things because they will skim your debit card. They will use it, and now they have your cash. If you use your credit card, like you just said, then you could cancel it immediately. You could do a fraud, and then the credit card companies are going to go after them, and they're going to reimburse you. If it's the cash, they're going to do an investigation, but you may not get that back for 3 months, 6 months, if you even get it back. Yeah. So I love what you said to everybody, and I want just to reiterate that, is do not use your debit card for literally anything if you don't have to.
Yeah.
And like you said, the points, you don't even get the points. So it's like, why? You're losing all that stuff, all the benefits of it.
Yeah. Credit cards have like a negative connotation around them. Because of how people use them, because we were never taught this stuff.
Yes.
Someone, I get this all the time. Why don't I know about this? Well, why would you know?
Yeah.
Where was this taught? It wasn't. Nope. So I'm teaching you.
There you go.
I'm teaching you. Now you know about it. They don't teach it in school. They don't teach it anywhere.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way. And so credit is good. The more personal credit you have, I didn't even touch on that, but you have to have a good personal credit profile to even qualify. And the more credit cards you have, personal credit cards, the higher the limits, the better. You know, I do come across people who have great credit scores, even 800, but they only have one credit card. They never use it, and they're proud of that, and that's great. They, you know, I pay everything with cash, awesome, but then you're also not qualified for this money because the banks don't know how you're going to treat it. How
Yeah.
you treat your personal credit and your personal cards and the banks that you have cards with, that tells them a lot about how you're going to treat their cards and their funding for your business. So when I see someone that's got limits of 20,000 and 15,000 and 10,000 all from tier 1 banks, like that's great. I know we're going to do well.
Yeah.
Banks are going to love that. They're going to want to give you all the money for your business because they know you're going to use it and use it well.
Yeah, so it's like learning about their financial responsibility.
It is. Your credit profile is your personal credit report. You know, it's your report card. And we have ways to optimize that too. We have ways to help with utilization and inquiries. And, you know, we partner with a credit repair company. We don't do credit repair ourselves. So we partner with a credit repair company that can help to remove negatives and do all that stuff and get you ready. But we do everything from helping to optimize the LLC, personal credit profiles. We know what the banks want to see. We have relationships at those banks. So we use real humans to help us get the higher limits. We do a lot of stuff to really achieve the goal of high limits of funding, which is what makes it tough, you know, for people to just do it by themselves. Because again, the information's not there on what the banks want to see to give you business credit cards. It's different than personal credit cards.
So since you just touched on that, what are some of, obviously every single person is different, every business is different. What are some of the eligibility or the requirements that banks want to see? So like, what would you want to see from, let's just say somebody like myself coming to you? What would you like to see from me before we could even do business and before we could even try and get funding?
So the minimums are a 700 or more credit score. No negatives, collections, bankruptcies, things like that.
Yep.
The banks do want to see over at least $15,000 in personal credit limits, right? The more, the better. And under 30% utilization on each card. Now, the utilization thing is usually what the majority of the businesses that we see have an issue with because they've been funding their business with their personal credit cards. And they usually don't look to get funding until they've used all their personal credit and they're like, now what do I do? And the reality is you should have just got the business funding from the beginning. But we have access to personal loans, right? So we have a software that has 80 different banks on it, and we do a soft pre-approval to see what could be approved, and then we'll use that personal loan to help them pay down their utilization on their credit cards.
Gotcha.
And yes, those are unsecured loans, so they come with high interest rates. But the idea is not to keep that loan for 5 years. It's to get your profile ready so we can achieve the funding and then get that debt off that personal loan onto the business credit at 0% by liquidating the cards and paying off the loan. So in all, you know, all action steps, the idea is to only have that personal loan out for, you know, 60 to 90 days and then get it all on 0% interest on your business where it probably should have been in the first place. Right? Makes it easier to write it off at the end of the year when it's
Very
all on
true.
the business.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are some of the biggest pitfalls or like the gotchas that business owners will run into or that they should be aware of when they're trying to get the 0% interest credit cards?
What do you mean by gotchas?
So like, obviously there's always a catch for these. And usually, like you said, it's because the credit card companies are expecting you to not pay it off. Is that usually the biggest issue that some people run into when they get these 0% interest credit cards is they don't pay it off at the end of the year? Or what are kind of the concepts that credit card companies are hoping that you don't do?
Yeah, they're hoping that you don't pay them off. You know, and they make money more than just interest. They make
Okay.
money from transactions. They make money when you use the cards. There's interchange fees. So they're even when during the 0% time frame, trust me, they're making money. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to worry if Chase Bank and Wells Fargo are making money. They know how to
Yeah.
make money,
Yep.
Of course,
so they're
business.
good. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all just a strategy and loopholes and knowing how to use it. But that's what they want is
Mhm.
I mean, they want you to pay it. They don't want you to miss payments and
Correct.
all that stuff, but they want you to keep using it
Mhm.
and pay interest eventually. So
Yeah.
be smarter, work harder, and have a plan.
There you go. I love that idea. When you tap into that plan, what is usually the best plan? And I understand that you're not on the coaching side of things, but what is usually the thing that people go after? Are they utilizing it for marketing? Are they utilizing it for uh, brand new equipment? What are usually like the ideas and or things that people are utilizing these cards for?
We've funded people from coffee shops. So they've bought all the machines and
Oh
espressos
wow.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've funded e-commerce stores, everything from people doing like a done for you thing where a company's building it
Mm-hmm.
to people who develop their own product and they need money to pay their manufacturer and shipping.
Yeah.
We've helped tons of coaching. We've helped probably 50% of our entire community is involved in real estate to some capacity.
Yeah.
A lot of Airbnb people, right?
Mm.
So they need
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
$20,000 to completely furnish a new place.
Mm-hmm.
What better way than doing that all on 0% interest
Yeah.
cards?
yeah.
That's huge.
Uh, we've helped. We got a client right now that has like all for mothers, like either new moms or soon to be moms, helping them with all the exercises and the yoga stuff and like they need money for marketing so people know
Mm.
they exist.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Yep.
the best plan, if I was to give a one size fits all
Mm-hmm.
plan, is know your avatar, which means know who is going to buy from you,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's like
Yep.
step one, is and know everything intimately about them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, understand your offer. So
Mm.
crafting a good offer of
That's
how
good.
what you're even selling and how your
Mm-hmm.
offer will help that avatar, help that person you're targeting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then having a marketing strategy to make those people aware
Mm-hmm.
of your stuff, right? Make them know that you exist and that you have the fix or the plan for whatever it is that you're selling and doing, and then implement, right?
Yeah. I love that. And tapping now into obviously we talk about the infinity model. We talk about four different areas: personal mindset, professional. A lot of our talk today has been on the professional and the business side of it. Also vitality, which is your health, how you recharge, and community. When we go into the vitality, this is kind of how we met at another conference, and we did a lot of working out, a lot of recharge stuff. How important is that vitality pillar when it comes to your business?
I think it's huge. That's what got me back into business. After 2020 and COVID and all that stuff, I had to, kind of put my business that I was doing on the time at the time on a back burner,
Mhm.
get a job. I've always gotten jobs in between businesses to reset and figure out what I was going to do next.
Yeah.
Um, and I started doing 75 hard, just to kind of do a challenge, get back in
Yeah.
shape and get my mindset right. And
Mhm.
probably halfway into that, I just like my internal fire relit.
Yes.
For a while I was
That's
like,
doing
oh,
the
maybe I'll
work.
just yeah, maybe I'll just for a while maybe I'll just run the business sorry, I'll just run the employee, entrepreneur route and just grow within a company and
Yeah.
see, and just do that and maybe
Mhm.
get some rentals or something. Maybe that's my path. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a business owner.
Yeah.
Maybe it's whatever, all the, negative self-talk. And
Yes.
just getting
Unfortunately.
back into 75 hard, I just like it just relit just
Yes.
instantly. I was
That's
like, no,
awesome.
I'm meant to do something bigger. I can help
Hell
people.
yeah.
And then this is how I can help them going through my own credit journey, and took my score from the low 500s now closer to 8, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that is huge. And having your own fitness and mental health and personal health has what has got me back going now for the last few years. So I will do once in a while those, the groups and the flyouts and the in-persons. I've kind of, there's got to be a happy balance between like using those when you need it and then action, right?
Yes.
I've met a
Yes.
lot of what I call self-help junkies
Yeah.
who will go from Tony Robbins event to Ed Milet event to different event to group
But
to group, and then not ever actually take action and do anything with it.
right
Right?
there.
That jacuzzi experience
Yep.
Greg talks about.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
So
love that.
I'm in the action phase and
Yes.
putting everything into action. And I've been consuming self-help and personal development stuff
Yeah.
since I had a device to listen to it, right?
Yep.
Forever. So it's a lot of it's big time into putting that into action. So now I listen to really just Alex Hormozy for the,
We see the book behind you.
Yep,
Yeah.
I recognized
So
it.
My guess is you're going to be on the VIP and you already ordered his next book is my guess.
oh yeah.
Without a
Yeah.
doubt.
I'm in Vegas. Maybe I can get one of the in-person spots or something. But
Yep.
so I
That'd be
listen to
awesome.
him
That would be.
and yeah, I take care of fitness and we don't eat out really that much anymore. And, so
That's huge right there.
food and fitness. And then for mental health, faith is always, first and foremost. And it's God and Alex Hormozy.
I loved you
We'll have to clip that and post that one for Mosey. He'll love that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tag him in it. Share.
So you kind of just mentioned obviously your Hormozy books and I'm guessing audibles because you mentioned technology. What is one tactic or tool you would recommend to someone who was in your shoes in 2020, where they were like maybe jumping from business to business, or let's just say they're in the entrepreneur stage and they're like, how do I break away from this, and should I even break away from it?
Well, what I did was first started working on myself because what people don't know is entrepreneurship is keeping it PG. It's a mofo.
It is.
Right?
It 100% is.
I am not a CEO. I am a chief problem solver. I'm the CPS of the business, right?
So true.
So
I love it.
every day there's a new problem that arises, and eventually I'll have people that can solve those for me. But that's what it is. And when you are working at a job, whatever type of job it is, there's jobs that can make a lot of money. Usually somebody else is solving those problems, right? So you got to do your job. And then when you go home, you're not really thinking about it. Like in your line of work, like when you clock off, and probably in most cases you get to clock off and you don't have to, plan on how you're going to get the next bad guy the next day. You just, you go in and that's it. But when I'm done with working with clients for the day, like I'm thinking about the next thing and the marketing and the next ad campaign, and like it never turns off. So getting yourself into the right mind state and physical form to enter into that is really first, but if somebody already has that and they feel like they got a good head on their shoulders, it's finding out what you want to do. It's finding out what you want to do. And we're building we're revamping our community on School to help with that exact thing.
That's cool.
So we're changing our school from just all about funding and credit to making money.
Oof. That's
so
really
it's gonna,
good.
And then providing the funding to get into those businesses. So we're going to have the different avenues, whether it's you want to get into real estate or e-commerce or brick and mortar or even scaling up. Like we're providing all the different avenues and education for each industry that you can come in and learn from experts in those fields that are already massively successful, and then figure out what you want to get into and then go all in with those groups.
That's perfect. All right, one more time. One last time for the kid.
Perfect.
That was awesome.
All right, next question we wanted to ask you is, How important does community play a role in what we do and what you do? Explain what kind of community that you guys have built.
I think community is huge. So obviously we're in the credit and funding space. So it's all small businesses. We host it on School, and I don't get paid to say that, but we host it on School. Um, and it's a really great place to have all of your content, have everything there. But another touch on why I think communities are so important and are going to be the most important thing in the next few years is AI.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Everybody's switching to AI, right? AI videos, AI this, AI advertisements, AI, and I'm not against AI in any means, but when there's so much digital, you never know when you're speaking to a human or if you're talking to a robot, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think communities are going to be so key as we go into and deeper into the AI world, because it's the only place you're going to get the human interaction. You're going to get live calls with your community. You're going to get to interact with these people and not just buy I mean, their AI sales agents are coming to be a thing now, right?
That's
So
crazy.
it's you don't know, you'll get brought in by a computer from an ad, right?
Yep.
By a bot. You'll be
Robots.
spoken to and sold and completed transactions eventually through an AI entity, right? So I think us having a community and growing it and doing live calls and webinars and all those types of things inside of the community is going to be key. And a
Yes.
community can really work for any type of business. I'll use that diesel company, right? They can have a community of other diesel owners that have questions and mods and tricks and tips and, things that you can do, and they can post repair videos, and they can, talk to their community and have Q&As, and it's a real person. Like, it can be applicable to, and that's a brick and mortar shop, in Stockton. Like, they can have a community too. And
Without a doubt.
it will bring you more business. Coffee shops can have communities, right? Like, it can be built around anything. Obviously, any internet-based business can have a community, around a product. I met another girl who has a community all based on doodles, right? The dogs,
Interesting. Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
different type of poodle dogs, and she created a product line just for doodles. And she has an entire community of doodle owners that follow her and interact and post
Yeah.
pictures of doodles. Like, you can build a community around anything.
Anything. Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's the way, because the more and more we are getting less connected with other humans, communities will rise.
They will.
Yep.
True. It'll be that face-to-face interaction that people are like, they want. They're like hungry for it. And if they don't get it, they're going to find somewhere to get it. So you might as well provide that space for them.
Yeah, that human interaction. So we talk a lot about how community supercharges everything.
Yeah.
And it could be in any niche.
So true. All right. And usually we like to finish up the episode with our golden nuggets. What are 3 golden nuggets you think our listeners should hear, whether it's about 0% financing, whether it's about vitality, business, whatever you think is the most important for them?
First and foremost, get yourself in order.
Yes.
Get yourself in order. You can't go take on the world or do anything if you're not in order. And that's faith, family, fitness. Like, you got to get your house in order. However long that takes, whatever that means to you, you got to get a hold of your stuff. And sometimes I tell people, when there's financial issues, it's not the time to start a business. Like, go get a job, right? Get your stuff together, get your finances in order, get your credit fixed, get everything under control. And then you can, in the meantime, you can start working on your business in the background and stuff like that. But don't launch something as your last ditch effort when it's your first time. There's
Yeah.
always the anomaly, right? Someone's going to be listening and they're the anomaly, but there's also a background. They've probably been doing business for 20 years or something that this was their last shot and it worked. But a lot of times people are struggling and then they think that they'll start a business and get out of it, or there's some get rich quick. It doesn't exist. Like get a job, get a better job, make more money, spend less, get your fitness, get everything together before you launch. So that's one, is clean up your own house.
So good.
Another nugget, obviously I'm all in the business space and I love entrepreneurship. So it's all going to be around that, but find out what you want to do and research the heck out of it. I am
Agreed.
at fault for this. I have started so many businesses and quit my job just after hearing the idea without even knowing anything about it, right? Not knowing if there was a market for whatever it was, or I heard someone else was successful in it, but never talked to that person to see if they would mentor me or tell me, that the first 6 years they were broke, right? Like there's a lot, like know what you're going to get into, the inside and out of everything, now don't get into analysis paralysis.
Oof, that's good.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a fine line there
Yeah.
where they're just analyzing everything and never start. So the third one is take action, but take smart action.
Oof.
Yes.
That's
know
good.
what you're going to be getting into, right? Know who you're going to sell to, know that avatar, know the offer, know how you're going to make money, and build that plan, but build that plan quickly. And I could research anything and everything about an industry and a business in like 60 days tops, right? I could find and talk to it. So I'm not talking about years of research. I'm talking about intentional, strategic research to know what it is and that you have the ability to do that and get into that and know everything about it in a short period of time to make the decision if that's what you want to do. And if through your research you realize, you know what? I don't, I'm not willing to do what it takes to make that business work, and that's okay. But let me look at this other thing. Right. But then ultimately you need to just start, because I never would have landed into funding if I didn't do all of the other things that I did. So I got to this business, which is my favorite and I love doing, by going through everything else. So you'll never get to where you want to go if you don't try and fail. So there's a little bit of all that in there. Fix your home, figure out what you want to do, then do that and see if you like it.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah, those were good.
Oh yeah, I love it. We never get the same things every single time, and that's what we love about it. Well, Cameron, thanks again for being on the show, pouring into our community all the knowledge and expertise that you have. If you have questions about funding, if you have any questions about business, reach out to him. He's an open book. He'd love to help you out. His Instagram link is going to be in the bio. So will his school link, and so will his website. So if you have any questions about anything, join. Right now, we talked about it. A little nugget for you guys. His community is free on school. There may be a paid version coming out later. So I highly, highly recommend, if this is something of interest to you, join the program now. It is free. Jump in there, interact with it. And then, as you all know, Infinite Goal Podcast, like us, review us, follow us along. If you have any questions or if there's any experts or anything you want to hear, feel free to DM us, message us, and we'd love to have you guys on the show.
Like the show, share the show, subscribe on YouTube, all the things, people.
Thanks again, Cameron, and we hope you
listening.
guys all have a great day.